So I felt like quickly making a video just now. I've got a lot of work I need to get done, but I just wanted to record that, um, yeah, I'm at the part of the month where I'm usually the most distressed because I'm really, really close to getting my period now. And usually at this part of the month, I've got this crushing sense of anxiety and I feel very weepy. And admittedly, I have been a little emotionally high strung, but this is like the best mood I've been during this phase of the month in ages. Like, this is the best I've felt, in the period between, uh, you know, ovulation and getting my period that I've felt in a really long time. Like, maybe ever. Like, yeah, usually at this phase of the month, I'm incredibly moody and emotionally volatile. But, just a little while ago, like just minutes before I started recording this video, something that usually throws me into a panic happened, and I didn't panic. I just felt like, well, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Um, but yeah, and another thing happened earlier this afternoon that would usually throw me into a panic, and I felt the waves of panic rising a little, and then I just felt something in me say, you know what? You've had problems that were scarier than this before. You're gonna be fine. You'll just deal with it when it happens, if it happens. And I just did the rational thing of doing what I could about it, and then, I'm just letting it rest, and I just had some ice cream. Only a little bit of, good green tea ice cream, of course. I need to lose some weight. Like, look at my arms. Like, I saw myself in a photo earlier, and I looked at my arms, and I was like, I don't even recognize my arms anymore. That's how much weight that I've gained under lockdowns. Like, I need to get back down. But, that's neither here nor there. Or maybe it's not irrelevant, because my point is that I'm feeling a lot more optimistic and positive about the future than I used to feel, and I'm feeling a lot less anxious about silly things to be anxious about, and I'm catastrophizing less, and I feel better able to help people and better able to accomplish things. I mean, I'm still nervous. I still have anxieties, but it's so much more manageable now. And I would toll it up to prayer. I would toll it up to cognitive behavioral therapy. I've been retraining my brain to just trust God more. Hypnosis therapy, again, training myself to trust God more, training my mind to just, be able to look at the anxiety and just see it for the silliness that it really is. Like, the vast majority of the time, the things I'm worried about just don't happen. And even if they happened, it's not going to be the way that I'm imagining it is in my head. Like, I remember the first time I had to go for a filling, or the first time I found out I needed one, I was like thinking of it the way someone would think of a death sentence. I was thinking, like, how could anyone be happy knowing we live in a society where fillings have to happen? And then I'm living years after that when I've had a root canal, and I actually enjoyed the process. I actually enjoyed the process of getting a root canal. Because, there were things about it that were stressful and unpleasant, of course, but it was such a fascinating process. And, you know, I think life is like that, where, I mean, sure, yes, unpleasant things happen, and, you do need to endure, and sometimes it's really tough, and you grieve, and you cry, but there's also important things you can learn along the way and you can some things you can try to view as a bit of an adventure, and you come back from that adventure knowing, not just knowing things you didn't know before, but with more courage and more faith than you had before, and with a better sense of your own capabilities. um a friend of mine who I don't talk to as much as I used to has been on my mind a lot today. I haven't quite. I don't know whether or not it'd be right for me to reach out and contact him, but yeah, I've been thinking about him, and I miss him. Uh, you know, but yeah, the context is such that I don't want to push the envelope too soon, and I feel like right now might be too soon, so I'm gonna wait it out a little. And if the friendship is meant to be, then it'll, waiting will be fine. That's the thing. People talk like, oh, we got to rush into getting married or something might happen. But No, if you're really right for marrying each other, you shouldn't need to get married to stay together. Like somebody who's there for the long haul, they're gonna be there for the long haul anyway. Like even whether you get married or not. So just I think it's better to just sort of try to hang back and just try to, focus on staying grounded and just, be natural with the other person. If they reach out to you, reach back. If you feel like they need space, you can, take some space and maybe reach back out to them later on when you feel like enough time has elapsed. And and admittedly I could be wrong about this, and because I know myself, and I know that sometimes there are times when I retract from people purely because I feel like I'm irritating them. And you know there are friendships I have that I love the other person, and I care about them so much. But because I live with this anxiety that I'm just annoying people, it's very hard for me to just relax and enjoy their company. I end up being stressed the whole time I'm talking to them because I'm like, what if I'm annoying them? And it's not helpful. It's not helpful thinking. And with how much I've just changed in like the past month, I'm pretty confident that I'm actually going to be able to unlearn this kind of fear too. And I feel like it's gradually happening. Like I'm gradually learning to be more trusting of people and less moany. And yeah, I feel like good things are happening. I feel like I'm moving forward. Oh, by the way, today, like really in the wee hours, I actually dyed my hair for Canteen, because Canteens, they're this, like in case you don't live in Australia, they're this group that sort of helps young people who are struggling with cancer, whether it's because they have a relative who has cancer or they have it themselves. And it also helps the families of young people who have cancer, because there's a lot of unique challenges that happen when you get a cancer diagnosis that I think the general population might not understand. And so Canteen does a lot of really amazing work, and each year they run something called Bandana Day, and that's today. So yeah, I was trying to raise money, and I managed to raise $20 for them. So that's not, it's not as much as I hoped, but it's not nothing. And there are other charity activities I'll be doing in November that I'm feeling pretty good about. And yeah, but I mean, just, I feel pretty happy with how the blue color turned out in my hair. I think it's a nice blue. I'm actually kind of tempted to put a permanent dye over the top of it just to make it stay, but like the thing I know is I've heavily damaged my hair by bleaching it and dyeing it many times already, and so I'm a bit wary of further damaging it with more dye. And so I'm thinking I might just make a note of the fact of how much I've enjoyed having this particular color in my hair, and then once the really damaged parts of my hair have grown away from my scalp much further, I'll do this dyeing. I'll do a bleach and a dye again, and I'll make it permanent the next time. But yeah, just I feel good about this. In general, I think serving God, serving others doesn't have to be like an arduous chore, and it can do a lot to just make you feel better about life. Like not in a narcissistic, oh look at me, I'm such a good person kind of way, but in a joyous, you know, things can get better, and you can be part of that betterness kind of way. In a let's look towards the future with optimism kind of way. You know? I feel good about that. And yeah, so that's because I know in the videos I make, I mope a lot. But I'm not mopey all the time. It's just that I tend to come to my videos to vent. And even in my journaling and my videos, a lot of the things I say when I'm feeling negative are not things that I really think. It's more like in that moment that's how I feel. And I just want to get it out of my system so that I can move back to being this more happy, cheerful version of myself, where I know that the bad stuff doesn't have to be the whole truth. And yeah, I guess I wanted to document myself when I'm in this better mood, especially since I'm managing to be here at a part of the month where I usually can't be here. So this is actually really exciting for me, and I wanted a record of it.